Alright, so it's Friday after my meet. I hit the 385 bench press yesterday, and I apparently kind of got sort of another PR on deadlifts today. I came in here just to do some very light squats, just to keep my lower body warm. Dan Mackler ended up coming into squats, so I ended up hanging out with him, just kind of talking to him, helping him out if I could. I decided to do a little bit of deadlifts. He was using the Ohio Power Bar, and I wasn't planning on doing anything serious anyway, so I just grabbed the deadlift bar and started loading it up, and it felt good, so I just kept loading it until we got to 600 pounds, and I didn't have any deadlift socks or powder or anything like that. Wasn't planning on pulling, but 600 pounds went up.
Come on, let's go, dude. Oh yeah, go, finish it. Let's go, finish it, dude.
It's stuck in my leg. I didn't expect that. Got stuck in my leg. I feel like it's kind of cheating though, because it was on a deadlift bar with fat plates. I really wanted that on a stiff bar with kilos. But officially, finally in the 600 pound club. Better late than never. Not that I condone drinking either, but it was the end of the week and it was after a successful meet and a bench PR, so I went out last night. So kind of hungover today too, so that was like a hungover PR as well. Don't drink. Finally signing the board here that I didn't even know was here this whole time. And we just added it up, and my gym total is officially 1531 at 198 pounds body weight. I mean, that's nowhere near elite, but that's awesome for me. I'm very happy with that. So I obviously didn't do any real training this week, so I don't have training footage, and I just kind of laid low all weekend. I can't speak. That's what this is for, this bad boy. The Purple Monster. Ooh, they're in gas stations now. Delicious. Gonna do a Q&A, man. I put it up on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at NickWright_NWB. I love doing these every once in a while. It's a good way to really interact with you guys, I think. So without further ado, I'm gonna read your questions on Instagram, starting from the top. Will you come out with your own supplement line? No, I don't plan on it. Never say never, but I think if I did come out with it, it would have to be umbrellaed under a bigger company. Like for example, I maybe have BPI do a spin-off line, and that'd be my line. And I would not make 100% of the profits that way, but I also wouldn't have to deal with 100% of the headaches that go into a supplement line, because it's not like a clothing line. The supplement line is a slew of headaches when it comes to like insurance and just so much stuff that goes into it. So I'll never make one on my own though, I don't think. It's so basic now, man. Everybody has their own line and it's all the same stuff. It's so corny to me. Steroids in the near future. Engagement, new car. Steroids in the near future is a no. I actually had a bunch of friends talk me out of it. Obviously I've been tempted, like I'm sure anyone who has ever lifted has been. And I actually talked to a few friends who I thought would have convinced me to do it or been all for me doing it. Friends that have been competitive in bodybuilding, friends that have been on it for years. And to my surprise, they all told me the same thing. They all said that I would regret it. And they all told me that if they could go back in time, they would have never started using them. So, and then recently my strength numbers have just been going up. And that's felt amazing, and that's been without steroids. So definitely no steroids for me right now. Engagement is a hell no. I don't really want to get married. I don't really want kids either. And new car is definitely, I need one, man. I think that time's coming really soon. I've been trying to ride this thing till the wheels fall off, and the wheels might be falling off soon. Are you religious? Why or why not? I am not. I was raised Christian, specifically Baptist, though my family in the church we went to they didn't focus hard on the denominations. I actually liked how they were. They were very they weren't caught up in the stupid rituals. They weren't judgmental at all. They were very much just about the lifestyle of it. You know, like follow Jesus as your Savior, love one another, do unto others as you have them do unto you. You know, basic stuff like that. We're all sinners, repent and you're saved. I respect that. I don't like, because obviously a lot of religion can segue into like becoming corrupt business. It segues into becoming judgmental. So they weren't that. The reason I fell out of it was just simply just lack of evidence in my personal opinion, man. I started taking the scientific approach, and the more I looked into it, the more a lot of the stories behind Christianity just seemed silly and made up. I'm not trying to knock it, and I'm not even a definite atheist either. I'd say I'm agnostic. I keep a very open mind. At the end of the day, I don't know anything in the grand scheme, so maybe there is a God. I don't know. Maybe it's not quite the form I learned him in. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe there's just consciousness. I'm keeping an open mind and admitting I don't know anything. One consistency I have had though is nihilism. I'm pretty nihilistic. In fact, my nihilism might be where my open-mindedness comes, because the nihilistic outlook can be very depressing. And so you almost kind of want to start to look for other things to believe in, but definitely been very nihilistic. Rick on Rick and Morty is like my hero. He's like nihilism's comedic genius. Would you ever compete in bodybuilding again? No, definitely not, man. It drains you, man. Doing bodybuilding, it shuts down relationships, it shuts down your lifestyle. It's not necessarily healthy mentally or physically, and it just takes a lot of discipline that you have to be in love with the sport of bodybuilding to maintain. If you're not in love with it, if you're not obsessed with it, dieting's gonna be brutal. And I learned from my photo shoot back in 2015 that I'm over that lifestyle completely. So I definitely don't think I'll be doing it again, especially as a natural, man. Natural bodybuilding just, it's not rewarding, and I hate how I look when I get shredded down, man. I become tiny. I got a small frame, so I become tiny looking. I look like a pipsqueak, and I already have a baby face. My face gets sucked in even more. I look like a little child, like a little child, so I don't like it. I feel more insecure when I'm dieted down. Did you play sports in high school? I did. I played recreational soccer, which I sucked at, basketball, which I sucked at. I did track and field, which I mostly sucked at. I did wrestling, which I actually really liked, and I did a little bit of boxing. I always wanted to do football, but didn't do it because wrestling overlapped into it, and I just didn't feel like doing two sports at once. When are you planning or hoping to submit that 225 overhead press video? That's a good question, man, because I think I'm good for that 225 overhead press now. Honestly, I really do think I am. And I was excited to kind of work up to a heavy overhead press max a couple weeks ago when I was doing it in training, and then we stopped doing it. So I do kind of want to give it a shot. Are you at all scared about the 405 bench? What do you think your next major goal is? Not just in lifting, but in life. The 405 bench naturally is clearly more than just a lifting goal, but a life goal. Yes, very accurate. 405 is going to be, that is the biggest goal I've had. Like, it sounds funny. I mean, there are other goals you could say are bigger, obviously, when it comes to, like, you know, my goals financially or whatever. But man, just on a personal level, I think big personal goals don't always have to be goals that like affect your life in a serious way. Just a big personal gratification goal of mine will be benching 4 plates naturally. Man, that would be the hugest thing in the world for me. I've always been a genetically terrible presser. My entire family is. First dude in my family to bench over 300 pounds. I mean, we're not built for benching. It's stronger now, but I've been benching for like 10 years. I'm not scared. I always thought I would be, because when I was maxing out around 365-ish, like that range, 405 just seemed like impossibly heavy. Like, it seemed not out of reach because I was in the mid 300s, but yet it still seemed like there's no way this weight would crush me. And I always imagined that the day before I went to go test out, or when I got close to testing out 405, I'd be like scared shitless and just all nerves because of how immense that weight seemed. But now that I'm actually pressing higher 300s, like with how easily I move 385, I actually feel really confident about it. So oddly enough, me thinking about hitting 405 the next time I test is no more intimidating to me than, you know, the first time I was planning to go for 375 when my max was 370. That's about how casual it feels to me at this point, which is awesome. Tips for competing in my first USAPL meet. Learn the rules of the USAPL. Just study them, because I can't tell you how many people don't know some of the smaller rules. Like, you have to have legless underwear, so you can't do boxer briefs or even boxer shorts. It has to be like whitey tighty cut underwear. They just have a lot of like really silly rules, so just make sure you know them beforehand. What's it like being followed around by Josh Fenton every day? It's annoying. It's really annoying. You ever have like a really big zit, like the type that hurt, and you try to pop it and like it just doesn't go away, and it just gets more inflamed after you pop it, and it just like starts showing and everyone thinks you're ugly because of it, and it just really hurts every time you touch it? That's what having Josh around me feels like. Would you rather be 6 inches taller or 10 pounds stronger on every lift? I would probably say 6 inches taller. That put me at like 6'2". Because like I can gain 10 pounds of strength on all my lifts like really soon, probably like in a month, honestly, at the rate I'm going. But yeah, I don't know, something I've never thought about. But then would I want to be 6 inches taller? Yeah, 6'2" wouldn't be bad. That'd be pretty cool. You ever want to change things up on your channel, or just go out to eat every day and powerlift until you can't anymore? Probably just go out to eat every day and powerlift until I can't anymore. How do you tune out the naysayers and shit talkers that have overwhelmingly posted garbage on your YouTube page since inception? Just gotta not care, man. Like, who are they? The thing is, you start to learn how people work, and you learn psychology, even like just basic psychology. Anybody who is talking shit to you is insecure about themselves. That's just a fact. I mean, unless you really go out of your way to do something that's like douchey or dickish, then it might be people actually just calling you out for being a dick. But if you're not doing anything wrong to people and you know it, and you still have people just hating on you for no reason, it's always a reflection of them in some way, shape, or form. It's some sort of insecurity that they're projecting onto you. And once you realize that, you don't feel bad for them, because like, who gives a fuck about their feelings, but you don't take offense to it anymore. You're just like, ugh, these poor guys. Like, it would suck being that insecure and you just keep scrolling and they're just bringing you views on your video, which is making you money. So that's really all it comes down to. Their opinions aren't relevant. I don't know them. And likely, if you're talking shit online, you're not the type who would actually ever talk shit in person. And if you're not the type to do anything in person, then I really am not concerned with you at all. Have you ever done drugs, weed, cocaine, MDMA, etc., etc., etc.? If you don't answer, you're a pussy. I have. I don't, but I have. Which of the big three are your favorites? Definitely a close call between the squat and the bench. It probably just depends on which one I'm doing that day. If it's squat day, I'm excited for squats. It's my favorite movement. If it's bench day, I'm amped for bench. Definitely not the deadlift. How long do you wait to train after a pre-workout meal? I try to get about an hour in. So usually I'll eat, digest for like a half an hour, and then drive to the gym, which is about half an hour away. The longer the better. Like, the closer you can get to 2 hours, the better in my opinion. If you have a large pre-workout meal, because then it'll be fully digested and all the carbs will be glycogen. I mean, those will be ready to go. It won't be sitting in your stomach breaking down still. If YouTube went under tomorrow and shut its site down, what would you do next? Probably go get Chipotle. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Now, I've answered this in the past and I said 100 duck-sized horses, but I'm feeling ballsier these days, so I'd actually go for the horse-sized duck, and I'd grab a kitchen knife and I would just launch myself at that thing. Like, just, yeah, jump like out of a tree or something, land around its neck and jam that thing in this windpipe, rustle the thing down to the ground, finally it'll be struggling and I'll just snap its neck, like just bear hug it and it'd be so epic. What happened to getting a new car? Great question, because I talked about getting one this past spring, and it didn't happen, and that was simply because I bought the condo, and upon buying the condo, I put the down payment, the insurance, the taxes, escrow, not to mention the monthly mortgage, the condo fees, all the utilities. At the same time, like a month or two later, I had to go and get ready to pay my taxes, and I just paid all my taxes for the year, as well as quarterly taxes, and then state taxes, and house taxes, etc., etc., etc. And I basically just got really tired of having to pay for things. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna add on another expense right now. I'm just driving that thing till the wheels fall off, which might be really soon anyway, and then I'll have to get one, but that's pretty much what happened. All right, that's a whole lot of questions for now, so thank you for watching, subscribing, all that good stuff. Like the video. Follow me on the gram. See you in the next video.